Hello everyone, this 2-minute book review is on Stripped by Bernadette Barton. Bernadette is a professor of women's studies in the US, and in this book she set out to examine why women work topless for money. This book is based on numerous interviews, first-hand observations and research that Bernadette did on strip clubs and topless bars across the US, from Kentucky to San Francisco. And in it she talks to many women about what initially drew them to exotic dancing and how that journey has changed over time, from the initial excitement and the financial rewards of this new work to increasingly more dangerous, more challenging aspects of the work, such as the culture of the workplace itself and the customers, and the challenges to the women's emotional and mental health, as well as their physical security, and then also to look at the economic challenges for women who stay in exotic dancing. I obviously have a particular interest in this subject matter, and I do know many exotic dancers, and I was really pleased with the platforming that Bernadette gives to so many voices of exotic dancers, women who are usually pushed to the margins and who are usually spoken for rather than allowed to speak for themselves. There's always a challenge in feminism to view exotic dancers either as victims or people who are being exploited by the patriarchy to sell their bodies as a form of commodity for male amusement in order to pay rent. What Bernadette does is, of course, strip away the artifice and allow the women to speak for themselves. There are, as you can imagine, not many positive voices in this book. It's obviously, this book was originally published 10 years ago, and Bernadette has released this new version that's due for publication in January 2017. And in it, she has looked at the changes over the past 10 years and really looked how the broader raunch culture and broader economy and culture of the world that we live in today has impacted the women, and that includes everything from racism. So it looks at how women of colour in particular are maligned and given a far harder time than the white women in the industry. But also it looks at the prevalence of pornography and how increasingly easy access to more explicit material for potential customers has forced many exotic dancers to consider more challenging and explicit forms of earning money, such as prostitution. And it also sadly also looks at things such as the drug and alcohol enabling culture of the workplace, and how this has impacted the women's physical health when they try and have a protracted career in exotic dancing. What I really like is not only just the platforming of the voices. Bernadette does not edit of many of the voices that she records and any of the information that these women give, whether it's the impact on their personal relationships out of work, the difficulties of some customers, and also how some customers have really helped these women. But also she doesn't shy away from the very tricky feminist angle to all of this. It would be very easy for Bernadette to have simply collated all these voices and let them speak for itself. But of course, exotic dancing is a very tricky issue for feminists. Do we view these women as emancipated women who are fully capable of making their own decisions based on their own interests and needs, or are these women all victims of a patriarchal society that determines that the way a woman looks and access for men to objectify the woman is how they can make money? Of course, as in all things in life and in all things in feminism, nothing is clear cut, and in truth both of those situations can exist simultaneously. But Bernadette doesn't shy away from that. She really tackles raunch culture and the way women are both trying to profit from that and a way also playing party to that. I really enjoyed Stripped. I think it's a really challenging read, and it's great to see these women giving a platform that they desperately deserve.